Well, yeah, I want to get into that a little bit more, but is there maybe like one that stands out, like one like purchase or one, store that, before and after, something like that, that just really stands out that you can tell us about? I know there's so many stores, they probably all just blur together, but.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll just take one that we did maybe a year ago. We call the Laundry Basket. We name all the stores either by the street name or what the previous owner called them. So this one's called the Laundry Basket. It's here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And it's one of those deals where we were able to acquire the store. It had been ran down. We had found through our experience investigation, it was a coin store that there was multiple silent partners. And that revenue that the owner thought was being generated, it was a little more than that. So actually, we purchased the store and we kept the keys in the coin boxes the same for about 2 weeks. And revenue was what it was. And I said, something doesn't feel right. So we've got ways of seeing how we, if quarters are going away, if it's a pool hall or a car wash coming and getting coins, or if coins are actually being stolen. In this case, we were able to change out the coin boxes, and bam, revenue skyrocketed. I was like, wow. And this was after the closing on the store, so that was pretty neat. And then
usually it goes the other way. You find out revenue wasn't as high. Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, the owner was extremely honest, but they didn't realize that was taking place, and we actually kept the existing staff there. It wasn't a staff member who was involved in this. So we actually kept the existing staff. And at that store, they were running free dry because I had stores right around it. And they were trying to compete with us because I have 2 stores within a mile radius of that location. And some listening may say, well, why'd you buy that one? Well, again, back to that blurb. If there's a need for it and we can eliminate a competitor and serve more people, because we did, we are now serving more people because we acquired and renovated that store. But moving forward, my staff member there was having to do free dry, which Brandon and I do not agree on. It was on the podcast. Brandon and I always talk about the business. And if you didn't hear, Brandon was one of Jordan's interviews prior. Great owner operator.
It was a great episode. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they were doing free dry, and the poor attendant was having to run himself ragged, starting the machine with quarters and then emptying the coin box to start it again on Sundays and whatnot, along with trying to clean and handle the problem. So we went to charging for dry. We put in our payment system, Freedom by Interactive Payment Systems, which is also a company of mine. But in doing that, we've been able to see sales in this 2,000 square foot store, all new equipment, a 22 washer store. We've been able to see sales almost 150%, up 150%. So that's one. We can link the YouTube video. I did a YouTube of the before and after of this one, and we'll be able to link that. So I can give you that YouTube video, and it's about an 11-minute video, but it shows you this zombie mat prior. It shows you a little bit of us during installation. We do all our own installation. So it shows us tearing it out, putting it back in. We tore all that equipment out and put the new in about 2 days. So the staff, that was one that we were able to flip. Typically, I like the new truck and the empty truck that's taking the old ones off to show up a day apart. So one day we're tearing out, the next day we're loading, then we're putting in the new. And that one just flowed pretty seamlessly. And we were able to only close for about, I think it was 3 days. We closed on Monday and we're open on Thursday afternoon. So that's another thing for people listening. If you acquire a store and you're going to close it for remodel, don't just close for a very long time, because people have tendencies and we don't want to break those. If we do, we want it to be a short amount of time as possible. So, yep.
Yeah, I've found that a big part of the laundromat industry actually is habit formation and habit changing. People get into their rhythms, they get into their habits of going to a certain store. So if you're coming in to buy a new store and you want to grow that business, whether it's somebody going to another laundromat or somebody who doesn't use a laundromat currently, you have to figure out ways to incentivize them to change their habits to start coming to your store, using your services. So yeah, absolutely. They get out of that habit of going to your store. It can be tough. We all know it's hard to change habits. So
Absolutely.
What was the response when you went from free dry to paid dry? Did you hear back from customers about that?
The staff member really liked it because it was causing confrontation between the staff member and the customer base. And you never want to create tension between your staff and your customer.
Right.
Also, we weren't at that time, they weren't allowing people to just come in and dry close. And I do allow that in our business model. So nobody could come in and just dry close, but people were trying to come in and do that. But yeah, of course they were like, what? No free dry? I had a few people pack up and leave. But obviously I told you about the growth in this store. So we're serving more people before. Once we got done with the renovation, I think they could understand and the value that was added. We did go down on a little bit of the lowest bin price washer. Was $3 when the previous owner had it. We took our lowest 20-pound washer to $250 to kind of accommodate for taking away the free dry. And we run a partially attended model, so the free dry is hard to do around the clock. So.
Yeah. Well, plus you owned all the laundromats around it, so go to the other one because we own that one too. So
yeah. There's a few actually around us that still do free dry.
Yeah.
And I mean, nobody gives me free gas or I can't find anybody to sell me the dryers for free. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I understand a lot of people listening have had success. And that's the great thing really about our industry, Jordan. If you put effort into it, you put your resources and your energy behind it, you can be successful at this business. You don't have to do it just like me or just like you or whomever. You can be successful in a whole lot of different ways, which makes it a awesome small business to be in, especially this time through COVID, where we've been able to be classified an essential service throughout the country. So I think more people are going to be looking to get into the business. I'm sure some of those are listening, but I think it's a special time in just the economics of our country and of course our industry as well.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's been one of the good things that's come out for the laundromat industry during all this debacle is, we've always said, everybody needs a place to live, food to eat, and clean clothes to wear, but, they were declared officially essential businesses. So